Good afternoon. A very warm welcome to all our viewers. Today's Education on Air features a very highly respected individual who has 20 plus years experience working in the optical industry. He has worked with hundreds of optical dispensaries in over 50 countries and has extensive knowledge setting up labs everywhere from brick and mortar offices, mobile vans, ships to military tents. He is a member of the board of Vision Council of America and has given seminars at Vision Expo related to profitable optical labs. It is my pleasure to introduce you to the president of Super Opticals, Mr. John Corsini. If you have any questions for John, please press the Q&A bubble on the left side of your screen and type in your questions, and he will answer them at the end of the presentation. Hello, John. It is great to have you with us on EMD Education on Air. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you would be educating us with today?
Yes, well, thank you very much for having me, and a good afternoon to everybody. I apologize for the delay in our broadcast, but I assure you that we will still finish on time. Today we're going to talk about how you can implement a profitable optical lab and how this will impact on your patient satisfaction and retention of your patients. So first off, let's take a look at our goal. Our goal is to fill this bathtub with loyal, repeat patients or customers. So we constantly have new patients coming in. We want to fill this bathtub with them for repeat business. However, our challenge is we notice that our feet are getting wet because there's a leak in the drain. Now, in some cases, it might be a fast flow of patients exiting. In others, it might be just a trickle. But it is important that we stop that completely because it costs us 5 times more to gain a new patient than it does to retain a patient. So we need to have a strategy in place to make sure that we're retaining every patient that we spend all this money on, and word of mouth and just the value of that patient. And how do we do that? I mean, what is our strategy? Well, we need to really take a look at being a total eye care provider, not just in the seat giving the eye exams and diagnosing the eye, but we need to take care of everything. So according to the Jobson Vision Watch survey in 2012, 68% of the eye exams were done by the independent eye care professional, but only 40% of those resulted in eyewear sales. Now, this could be for different reasons. Maybe some of you aren't dispensing eyewear at all, or those that are dispensing eyewear, are you providing a full service where you can take care of same-day service if necessary and also be competitive? Because that 40% loss, that's a 28% difference, and that's a great loss in our profits. But more importantly, we've lost control of our patient because of not giving them total eye care. Those 40% that went somewhere else are in jeopardy of not returning, or maybe not returning for total eye care. Well, why is it that we're losing these patients? Well, in a lot of cases, it's the inability to compete with large chains and now the online stores. So you have the Walmarts of this world, the 1-800 contacts, lens crafters, and it's the impression of a lot of these patients that they can get a better selection, they can get faster service, they think they could get even a cheaper price. So let's evaluate really the types of consumers that are out there. We have the independent loyalists. Those are the ones that we like. Those are the ones that will receive their eye exams from us. They'll purchase their eyeglasses and contacts from us as well. So those are the ones that are staying in the bathtub. Those are our loyal repeat customers or patients. Then there's the hybrid spender. Now they'll still get their eye exam from us, but these are the ones that will go to that independent eye care or to the chains or wherever it might be, retail, to get and purchase their glasses. And at that point, we've lost control of that patient. They may find that, oh gosh, Walmart also does eye exams, so why don't I just get everything done here the next time? So we're really jeopardizing losing that patient for life. So then we have the chain loyalists, and those are the ones that we've lost, and that they'll continue to go back there for their total, complete eye care. So what we need to do is take a look at our patient satisfaction, and it's very, very high with the independents as far as the eye exam goes, as we just discussed. 58% are extremely satisfied with the independent, and the likelihood to return for the next eye exam is 71%. So they definitely have confidence in us. And the likelihood to recommend an eye doctor to a friend, 61%. So it's still much higher than the chains or the retail outlets. So again, the important point here is, what can we do to retain this patient for life and not let the independent or the retail chains even know that this patient or customer exists? What are we doing to plug that bathtub? We need a strategy to create patients for life. And if we take a look at our formula for satisfied customers, it's our performance minus the patient's expectation is going to equal satisfaction. So if we can outperform their expectations, we're going to have satisfied, loyal customers. And customer loyalty is the #1 contributor to growth. Remember, as we said before, it costs you 5 times more to gain a customer than it does to retain a customer. So we have to start thinking about creating patients for life and to offer complete eye care. So in the way that we can do that is really through an in-house lab. So here's where we're talking about implementing a profitable optical lab, which now will make us a full-service eye care provider, so that we can handle all of their eye care needs right in-house. And we can always exceed their expectations in service if we have the proper optical lab setup. Now, there are 2 options in an in-house lab. The first would be finishing, which is an edging machine. And some of you out there may already have an edger in place, and others may not. Now, with an edger, you are able to offer convenient service for about 50% of your work, primarily single vision lenses. These lenses can be stocked to power and can be edged to the frame and dispensed to the patient within an hour or whatever is necessary to exceed their expectations. The second option of an in-house lab would be a full service lab, and that would be an edger and surfacing. So now with this full service lab, we can offer convenient service to more than 90% of our patients. And with that, we can do the more profitable work, which would include progressives and bifocals. We can handle and service our older patients as well as just the younger single vision type patients. So really a full service lab is where you really want to get. If you're doing edging now, that's a great step, but we need to look at adding the surfacing portion. If you're not doing anything right now, it's extremely important that you consider putting in an optical lab. And doing the whole thing at once is not a very big undertaking, And we'll talk a little bit further about that as we get on in the presentation. Why is it important, though, to do progressives and bifocal service? We need to be able to offer this convenience because of the population that is in need of this type of lens, and primarily would be the baby boomers. You know, there are over 80 million Americans that are in the baby boomer generation right now. These were the people that at one point were getting single vision and were getting quick service. Now all of a sudden they're needing progressives, which are more expensive, and they're being told that we can't take care of you right away. So they're 44% of the population. And then they also are projected to hold 70% of the U.S. disposable income. So not only is this a large population for us, but they have the money to spend, provided we can give them the service and exceed the expectations that they have. The total population needing progressives and bifocals, the 50-plus age group, is over 100 million consumers. So just doing edging alone is not enough. Doing nothing is unacceptable. So let us talk about this generation. It's a generation of instant gratification. Everything can be found in the palm of their hand at a moment's notice, and that includes eyeglasses. So, the 1-hour service, or at least the quick service, is the norm. They're used to the fast food, the 1-hour photos. Everything has to be now. And the important thing is they're willing to pay for that. So why not be able to give them eyeglasses in a quick manner? Now, I'm not professing that you're going out and advertising 1-hour service. All I'm saying is you need the tools in your practice to be able to exceed the expectations. So, if it is 1 hour, then yes, give it to them 1 hour. But if it's tomorrow, give it to them today. And let's take a look at your elderly patient. In a lot of cases, these people have to go out of their way to get a ride to come in to get their eye exam. This is a big undertaking for them. And then you're told, well, come back in 2 weeks to pick up your glasses. Now they have to go through the whole scenario again to try to get back in. Those are the people that if we could service right away is just a great benefit to your business. So how do we do this from a surfacing standpoint? In the past, it was that you had to have a huge room. You had to have about 10 pieces of equipment. You had to have skilled labor. It was a very large undertaking, not only financially, but just with your personnel and everything. But now, with FastGrind, it's the world's smallest and fastest lens surfacing system, so that you don't have to go through all of the expense, you don't have to do all this remodeling, because it's an all-in-one system. And it will fit in a very small area along with your edger and just miscellaneous pieces of equipment that you would need. So for those of you that don't have a lab at all, basically you're looking at a room that could be as small as 5 by 10. If you have a larger area, that's nice, but in a lot of cases we've put these in closets and old kitchens or just side rooms. It's very quiet in most cases, all of these pieces of equipment. We've installed these right next to exam lanes, so you don't have to worry about the noise. So we've taken out the element of needing a large space, and we've also taken out the skill level, which we'll talk about. So, this was designed for the independent practice, specifically, for you all that don't have the large volume that can justify this, with just 1 or 2 pair a day. It being an all-in-one system, again, space-wise and ease of operation. FastGrind itself can fit in just a small area of 2 by 2 space. It's computer guided, so we can virtually train anyone in your practice within a couple hours on how to run this. So you don't need any prior experience in lens surfacing. It uses only tap water and standard electric. Now, we do have a recirculation system that we developed for the U.S. military that uses this system. So if water is not readily available, it would not be a problem. It just makes it easier if you can hook it up to water. So now you can make progressives and other lens designs, bifocals, trifocals, in less than 12 minutes. So being able to offer quick service is certainly easy. But more importantly is just the cost to do it yourself. You will save over 50% from the wholesale lab that you might be currently using, making digital type progressives and other lenses. So it's affordable for any size dispensary, and we'll go over some of the economics here a little bit later in the presentation so you can see that. So you can become a full-service optical and compete with the optical chains, the one-hour opticals, the online opticals with ease. And another nice thing is it comes with a lifetime warranty, so it's sort of a peace of mind warranty. With the system, we have an abundance of lens options to choose from. So as we mentioned, flat top 28s, 35s, trifocals, blended round segs, different lens materials such as photochromics and polarized lenses, and then a wide variety of progressive lenses. The one that's used the most is the new Advantage high definition progressive. So it's very similar to the digital freeform lenses, but at a fraction of the cost. So you can offer the same quality that you're used to and still offer the service that the full lab will afford you. So let's take a look at some of the economics. You know, is my practice large enough? That's a question I hear very often because, you know, they don't think they're the size necessary for all this equipment. But as we talked about, there isn't as much equipment needed today. So just doing 2 pair a day is going to make a lot of additional profit. Now, there is a calculator that we'll give you a link to later or show you where you can find it to put in your own numbers. But I'm just giving some averages here. So we'll take an average progressive cost from a lab is about $80. In some cases, it's as high as $150, but we'll take an $80 figure. With the fast grind, using their Advantage HD progressive, you can make them for $14.98 a pair, which saves you about $65 a pair. If we do 2 a day, 22 days in the month, our monthly savings will be over $2,800. And if you figure that 12 months in the year, you're looking at about a $34,000 savings just doing 2 pair a day. You also have the added benefit now being able to offer this fast service, people that have emergencies, that broke lenses, whatever it may be, of adding an additional RX, and this would be conservative, but 1 additional per week that normally you would not get. And we used an average sale lens and frame of $350. A gross profit percentage of 60% times 4 weeks. We've got an additional monthly profit of $840 or yearly of another $10,000. So if we take a look at this scenario and our return on investment, the cost of just the fast grind system alone, and we'll look at both lab systems, so if you're already edging and then add the fast grind for your surfacing, you're looking at about $27,000. On a monthly finance plan with a $1 buyout, your payment is right around $522 a month. So your total month gross profit, now again, that was the 2 pair a day that we went through, plus the additional RX a week. You have a monthly gross profit of $3,700, if we take the payment, your cost for the equipment, off of that gross profit, then you're looking at a monthly net profit of $3,100. So after you pay for the equipment, your total annual profit with this scenario is $38,000. So your fast grind basically would be paid off in 8.6 months in this scenario. Again, on our website, we have a link where you can go in and put in your actual numbers, and I think you'd be surprised on how this may grow. Now, for those of you that need a complete lab from the get-go, you're looking at approximately $49,000 for a complete lab. That would be the fast grind and the edger. Again, our monthly finance plan with a $1 buyout, you'd be looking at about $985 a month. Again, our gross monthly profit that we figured on 2 a day was $3,700. If you take your payments for all your equipment, after paying for your equipment, you still have a net profit of about $2,700 a month. That's over $32,000 a year. Having already paid for your equipment, you could essentially pay off your total lab in about 15 months. So it's not a large undertaking financially that it used to be in the past, and the benefits that are derived from this are astronomical, really, in your patient retention and just getting new patients in through word of mouth. It's amazing when you exceed patients' expectations, how they tell their friends. Word of mouth is the best way of advertising. So now, with this small investment, you can become a full total eye care provider and retain those patients through the whole process, not let the competition know that they exist. In addition to this, we've now recently, the Fast Grind has been approved for IMED. IMED is the insurance plan, probably the fastest growing insurance plan in the U.S. today, and it was in the past where you had to send all of your insurance jobs outside, even if you had an in-house lab. Well, now Fast Grind has been approved as an in-house IMED lab, so you can process all of your IMED jobs in-house. So it just allows you to have the savings a lot quicker. So, as I mentioned to you, we were going to finish on time no matter what. I know your time is valuable. This really was meant to be just an overview of everything. On the screen you can see here any ways that you would want to contact us. Visit our website. And as I mentioned to you too, the profit calculator where you can put in your own figures. If you go to the www.superoptical.com, under the Fast Grind, once you go to the Fast Grind page, you'll see a tab for profit analysis under financing. So feel free to click on there if you want to put your own numbers in and see how quickly you could pay the system off. You can visit us on YouTube for videos and social media as well. And I'd certainly like to open it up for questions at this time.
Yes, thank you very much, John. That was educational indeed. And we have got a few questions. And let me give you the first question. And the first question is, what are the quality of the lenses used with the Fast Grind system compared to a Shamir Trivex? Is it? Yes.
Well, as far as, I guess if they're referring to Shamir, they're talking about design. And the design of the lens, as I mentioned, the Advantage High Definition Progressive. This particular design is relatively new. It is produced, now the molds that we use to make this lens were produced on freeform machines, so that we're able to get the same quality, digital quality of, let's say, Shamir, Essilor, you know, any of the name brands that are out there today. There is no distortion at all in the distance vision. So we've been able to take all of the distortion or astigmatism out of the distance, which just makes it a fabulous lens to adapt to, so you get no swim or you know, dizziness feel. We've sent samples of this out, and certainly would be happy to do that with any of our listeners. But we've sent it out to hundreds of practices around the world, really, that have compared this to the name brand lenses. They're, you know, a lot of the doctors or people that are working in the practice are wearing the high-end lenses as they're given to them normally for free, and they'll put this on, and the comments are just astounding, really. That's you know, from as good to better. So I think you certainly have no problem with the quality, but we're happy to have you try it, and you be the judge. Now that's, I guess, answers the question against other brands or designs. Now as far as quality, finished quality of the product, with fast grind, it's no different, certainly as good, or in some cases, because you control it better than you'll get from your wholesale lab. If you're not exactly happy with something before you finish it, you can put it back on and get it to where you want. Where in a lot of cases with a wholesale lab, I mean, once you get it, if it's not to your liking, you either dispense it or you send it back. So you control the quality. So hopefully that answers the question.
Yes, thank you. We'll move on to the second. Do the anti-reflective lens, just 1 minute, sorry. Do the anti-reflective lenses have any special protective coats, and are they considered a premium coat?
Yes, what we have is a high-end premium AR coating. Now it is on the front surface of the lens, where, you know, is where you would want it, most important, as you're grinding the back surface on the fast grind. And it is the premium. It's used or it's developed with the latest equipment in the industry, so we're always keeping up with any new formulations that are out there. So it is comparable to any of the high-end premium AR coatings.
Okay, and we'll move on to the third question. I think you did explain about this, but anyway, this is a question from our viewer. How does the fast grinding compare to other grinding systems in terms of operating with ease and training a staff member?
Well, maybe this was addressed in the presentation, but that's an excellent question, because yeah, there isn't anything out there that compares as far as ease of use. All other types of surfacing systems require a number of pieces of equipment. You have to go through several steps in order to get the finished product out the other end. And because of that, dealing with so many different pieces of equipment, there's a lot of room for error. But more importantly, you have to have, you know, good experience to be able to operate those types of systems. And the beauty of fast grind is that it's just one machine. It's utilizing a pre-blocked lens. So we've actually eliminated several of the steps in which the operator could make an error. Everything is computer guided. So anyone that sees really a demonstration, and we've done this at trade shows where we'll give someone a demonstration and then say, all right, you grind the next pair of lenses, and they're able to do that, because once you know the fixtures we're talking about and you know what the screens are saying, you can easily grind a pair yourself. From a training perspective, because it is so easy, all over the world, we install it through a video and phone training. So we have a very comprehensive video, and in most cases we never even hear from people after that. They're up and running, but we encourage all of our new accounts and existing accounts when necessary to call in, and then we'll grind a pair of lenses right over the phone. There's no reason for us to be or need for us to be there physically. And that's great too for retraining. You know, if your personnel leaves or sick or what have you, we can have someone back up and running, you know, within an hour or two. So there isn't anything even close to the ease of operation of Fast Grind. And again, you can use existing personnel to operate it.
Yeah, that sounds very easy and interesting. Okay, we'll move on to the fourth question. How much money will be saved, and what would be the best solution to maximize profits?
Well, I think we, you know, sort of touched on that a little bit in that, you know, in my example, and that doesn't hold true for everyone, but I think my example was very conservative, and in that we were just doing 2 pair a day, and you were seeing yearly profits of over $34,000. So, you know, I'm not sure what to say other than I'd encourage you to go on to our website and put your numbers in, and then you can really see what the opportunity is. You know, when you do get into the higher end progressives with AR coatings, and you calculate in another one of those a day or whatever the number may be, though that profit figure jumps quite a bit, because there's a lot more profit with Fast Grind when you're doing the photochromics and you're doing the AR coatings. So that 34,000 will, you know, easily jump to 70,000. And again, that's, you know, doing 2 pair a day, and which is enough certainly to justify the system. But I think a lot of viewers out there are probably doing more than that. So. And the best way to maximize those profits is to use the system to its fullest, you know, to try to do at least 90% of your work on it. But if you're too busy in a certain day or a certain week and you're only doing 1 or 2, at least you know your investment's making you money.
Okay. So we have the last question, which one of our viewers have, and he wants to know the cost of a blank lens.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it depends on the lens, obviously. You know, you can start at single vision, which, you know, is just a couple dollars, and then, you know, your flat top 28s are going to be in the $7 range. And then, as the example we showed with our Advantage HD Progressive, is under $15 a pair. If you put AR coating on it, it's an additional $10, so you're looking at about $24.98 a pair for a digital progressive with AR. Photochromics are about $44. So for those of you that are familiar with your lens pricing, you can see that the savings is substantial.
Okay, great. Okay, so we do have more time, but anyway, we have to end our education on air. And thank you very much, John, for taking the time and for being with us and for educating us on this new system. And thank you very much for all the slides that you have actually given a beautiful presentation. So we will end up for today. And of course, we will meet you again with a new education on air with a new subject. And until we see you again, it's goodbye from us, and all the best. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you all very much.